Yes guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for checking out and clicking on this video, because if you are, then hopefully that's not right, is it? Hopefully struggling with weight transference. If you are, hopefully I can fix your weight transference and help you get better at transferring your weight to your lead side, because when we're striking irons, we need to be hitting down on the golf ball. We need to be compressing the ball, and that is so vital. It's one of the common faults that I see a lot, is where golfers make the transition to the downswing and the right hip just kind of, they know they've got to rotate, but they rotate this way. And often we see the trail hip, the back hip, just move away from the target, and then the pressure goes down the trail leg. One of the things we want to try and see is from the top of the backswing, as we make that transition, the weight starts to move into this left side. That's something that you'll see all the best players in the world do very well. They'll be able to get to the top of the backswing, shift the weight down through the left or the lead foot, and then work it back up again through impact. A lot of golfers say to me they don't create divots when they're hitting their irons, and that is not massively important. You don't have to be coming into the ball super steep to create a big divot. Your angle of attack doesn't have to be 6 degrees on the down to be hitting the ball really well. I'm not as much as that. I'm generally with an 8-iron or a 7-iron around about 3 degrees. So it's not huge, creates a little small divot, and I compress the ball well enough. So we don't have to get the feeling that we're chopping the arms down to compress it. Generally, the compression is going to come from the quality of the movements in the body. So the compression is going to come from swing path, but then into, like we're talking about in today's video, it's going to be talking about weight distribution. So as we get to the top of the backswing, I want to try and get you to feel the left hip, or the lead hip, going over the lead foot. Once we've made that move, then we're in a good position. The weight is now going down the left side or the lead side, and we can rotate. What we don't want to see is the shoulders moving towards the lead side. We don't want the leaning movement. We don't want this spine angle to then suddenly start to tilt this way. The spine angle is going to, relative to the golf ball with an iron, the spine angle is going to stay level with it, okay? The lower body, the weight shift is going to come more from the lower body. So we're going to pressure in the left hip over the left foot for right-handed golfers. That's going to give you the positional sense to then compress into the ball. So I would often just start with a couple of little half swings, go up to the top of the backswing, feel the weight shift. So I often like to feel the ankles and the knees just starting to move this way. Once they move that way, then the hips can follow. We want a little bit of movement through this bottom side, from the knees, from the ankles, to help move into the left side there. So we don't want to kind of just sway from the upper body. We want the drive in with the lower body better, so then it's a lot easier to compress it. So as you get to the top of the backswing, your ankles and your knees will drive into the lead side, and then you're able to kind of hit down on the ball. And I would often just start with a couple of short shots like that. It looks a bit diggy, but it's only a little half swing, so I didn't fully rotate. So you'd often just kind of start with a couple of pitch shots to really get that sensation. Then you can start to feel it into the bigger movement. So as the swing starts to progress and get longer, you start to feel the lower body working down towards that left side as well. So the ankles and the knees start to move in towards, in my case, the left side. Left hip gets over left foot, and then I can rotate everything through. From a directional sense, it's going to be a lot easier for you to control the club face. Often we see golfers, if they push into that right hip here, they'll manipulate it with the hands, or they have to manipulate it with the hands to either A, reach the ball, or B, control the direction. But from there, then we're going to try and feel, as we start to lengthen the swing, the lower body starts to move more towards the left-hand side. So in this particular case, again, I managed to trap nicely into the golf ball, got the weight into the left side, and then was able to rotate from there. Again, nice little divot, nice shallow divot on the way through, and you know it's a good divot when the divot's got an entrance and an exit. Once the swing starts to get longer, that's when you can start adding a bit more force, you can add a bit more speed, but this is always going to be the place that you start to initiate that downswing, because once you get to there and start to move in towards that lead side, it's going to be a lot easier to drop the club more parallel to the target. One of the common faults that I see is as this starts to spin, so does that, and we lose path. So not only are we losing good weight distribution and quality of ball striking, we're also going to be losing accuracy and quality of shot shape, because the club has then been forced to go over on the outside. We've lost the swing path due to poor hip rotation. So we're going to get the feeling the weight goes into that left side. Ankles and knees are going to help just kind of drive the hips into that left side. Good strike, and then into a nice strong follow through position after hitting a nice shallow divot. So I hope this makes sense. I hope weight distribution is something that you're not struggling with, but if you're watching this video, you probably are. And this is a really good way. You get an alignment stick into the ground behind you and just get the feeling that the left side is always working towards the stick so you can drive into it and rotate. As always, guys, thank you very much for watching. From me and the greenkeepers, thank you very much for watching. These boys are getting the golf course in unbelievable condition yet again, working tirelessly to just keep the conditions of this place to world-class level. So these guys, unbelievable. Thanks very much for watching. Please do subscribe to the channel, follow me on my social media platforms, and I will see you again very soon, because there is some seriously good stuff coming up. So do stay tuned, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss out. See you in a bit.